I should clarify, Conservative Party of Canada, we get mixed up with our provincial cousins on occasion, the Progressive Conservative Party of Manitoba. Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Stephanie and the Portage Chamber for organizing today's events. And thank you to my fellow candidates for coming out and putting your name on a ballot. It is not something that everybody wants to do, and it not always is an easy task on a doorstep, so I applaud you for that. Thank you all for coming out here today. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Branden Leslie, and I have had the distinct pleasure of being your Member of Parliament for just under 2 years now, and I'm a farm kid from just south of Portage-Prairie. I live here in town with my beautiful bride Kaylee and our just turned 15-month-old daughter Maeve. And like everyone in this room, and I think across our communities, we grew up with a belief in the promise of Canada. And unfortunately, in the eyes of many, that is a broken promise, or is at very least slipping away from them. And I've had the chance to hear that directly from thousands of folks door knocking during this campaign. But I'm here to say it doesn't have to be that way. Nothing is wrong with our country that cannot be fixed. Now, I've been proud to run on a Conservative platform that offers real solutions to the very real challenges that our country is facing. Now, one of those challenges is most definitely the Donald Trump unjustified tariffs on our country, but that is not the totality of the challenges facing us. For the last 10 years, we've decided decline. We've chosen decline. We've decided to stop thinking big. We've decided to punish hard work rather than rewarding it. We've even had a Liberal government that has went as far as to attack small business owners as tax cheats and look to government revenues from a bottomless pit of our small and medium-sized enterprises. We live in a country where we can no longer build things thanks to Bill C-69, the anti-pipeline, anti-development law that will prevent any new pipelines or mines or hydroelectric dams from ever being built again in this country. And step back and think, the most uniting thing that this country has ever had was Sir John A. Macdonald's Canadian National Railway. And ask yourself, do you think that that railway could ever be built under today's regulatory conditions? And the answer is absolutely not. We have tried the tax, spend, and regulatory approach to prosperity, and it has failed. And I say this just based on the data, but more importantly, based on the conversations that I've had with thousands of folks at doorsteps over the past 4 weeks. To many, hope seems to be slipping away. Seniors can't afford to eat, heat, and house themselves. They're making very tough decisions about whether they stay in their home or move in with their families, or whether they can even afford to buy their grandkids a Christmas gift or a birthday present. The dream of home ownership for an entire generation of young people, even in a community where it is affordable to live compared to Toronto and Vancouver and other places, is simply gone because folks cannot save enough up for a down payment to buy a home in our communities. We've seen skyrocketing food bank use. We've seen food banks pop up in communities that didn't even exist just 6 years ago. We've seen a middle class. Many people have fallen out of a middle class. They become working poor. They're living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to get by. When I've talked to so many young people at doorsteps that have told me, I'm going on to a little bit of credit card debt every month, a little bit of line of credit debt every single month, just to pay for necessities, not to put my kids in hockey or to ballet or whatever other activity that they want, but just to live. And of course, we've seen crime and chaos unleashed on our streets and drugs flooding our communities. But at those same doorsteps, what I try to do is remind people that we must not give up hope, that we must hope for a better Canada. Now, this election is about who can restore that promise of Canada, that hope for Canadians. Now, we've outlined during this campaign many measures that I think are going to go a long ways to doing that for our region, for our province, and for our country. And I'll just name a few from the lengthy list. A 15% tax cut across the board, starting with the lowest tax bracket, so every single taxpayer benefits from that tax cut. Axing the carbon tax, not just prior to an election by reducing it down to zero, but actually getting rid of it so we can have a lower cost of goods because everything we buy is shipped, travels by train and by truck to our stores, and immediately getting rid of the carbon tax on everything for good on every item. Training up 350,000 unionized trade workers so that we have the capacity to once again build this country up. Lifting the egregious cap on our energy production in this country, and building a national energy corridor so we can unite this country just like Sir John A. Macdonald did once in the past. And we can advance shovel-ready development zones so we can build quickly because we need to act decisively for our Canadian interests. Bringing forward the dream of Churchill once again, where we can have an additional outlet to world markets for our products made here in Manitoba and across Western Canada. Taking a serious look at cutting red tape for chamber business members. I have heard so many complaints about the red tape, the surveys, the frustrations of our small and medium business owners. We need to let the private sector be unleashed. Bringing in a reinvestment tax cut, removing the capital gains, and if you invest it back in Canada to support Canadian jobs, you won't pay a capital gains tax. And most importantly, and everybody in this room knows of the tragic incident of a criminal who was released on bail, breached his conditions, stole a car, got drunk, and ended a young woman's life. We need serious bail reform, and we need to put repeat and violent criminals behind bars for good. So the question that folks are going to have to deal with at the ballot box is this: who has the best plan and the will to put Canada first and to restore that promise of Canada? Who can protect and grow our economy? Who can make our communities safe once again? Who can stop the wasteful and inflation-driving government spending that we've seen over the last 10 years? And who can unleash the potential of our rural economies? The other question you'll have to ask yourselves is this: do you really believe that a fourth Liberal term, with the same MPs, the same ministers, the same advisors, the same staff, and the same platform that has been written for well over a month, will lead to better results this time around? I don't believe the answer to that is yes. I think it is time for change. I think it is time to restore the promise of Canada and offer Canadians hope once again. It is time for a new Conservative government, and I humbly ask for your vote on April 28th. Thank you.